Happy Friday, everyone. It's Mr. Freeman. Welcome to Friday Words of Wisdom. Today we're in my lab because we're back at school and we're not in my basement. And so we're going to hang out in the lab for about the next 4 or 5 minutes. And today, our words of wisdom are brought to us by none other than Albert Einstein. If you've never heard of Albert Einstein, you might want to Google him. He's a pretty amazing character. What Albert Einstein reminds us is that whenever you are trying to learn something new, don't let your ego get in the way. Well, what is an ego, or what is ego, you may ask? Ego is that little voice inside your head that tells you, hey, I'm more awesome than you are, which is okay sometimes, I suppose. But sometimes our ego can get in the way of progress. It can get in the way of learning new things. Sometimes if your ego is too big, you think that you know more than anyone, and you end up closing your mind. And you know that one of my classroom rules is stay open-minded. Sometimes if you are in the pursuit of knowledge and you know a whole bunch, you forget that there are other people in the world. There are other people just like you. And when your ego gets in the way, you end up closing your mind and you ignore the opinions and the viewpoints of other people. And this is dangerous, especially in science. In science, we like to share. Anytime we gain new knowledge, we share it with the world. And there's nothing worse than a person who has a giant ego, who has no regard for your opinions or your viewpoints, and they don't want to listen to you. They just want to listen to themselves. And that's dangerous. That's a bad, bad way to be. So let's learn some math. You ready for this? Let's look at this equation that Mr. Einstein gives us. Ego equals 1 over knowledge. Now, any number, 1 over some number, that makes knowledge less valuable. So here his quote is, more the knowledge, lesser the ego. Lesser the knowledge, more the ego. So depending on how you look at this, the more knowledge that you gain, the more you learn, the more you realize, hey, there are people out there that know more than I do, and maybe I should listen to them. Now, let's say your knowledge level is low. Typically, your ego is bigger. And that you do not want to be that way, especially at this point in your life when you've got the world at your fingertips and you're trying to learn everything that you can about how the world works. The more educated people that you talk to, the more they'll explain to you. The more educated I am, the more degrees I have, the more I realize how much I don't know. And I have several college degrees myself. And I realize I don't know anything. I don't know anything about this world. I only know the things that I know, which, considering all the knowledge that I could have, I don't really know too much. But what I do know is that you should make yourself a lifelong learner. Always stay open-minded and be open to learning new things. So don't let that ego get in the way. Because if you do, go back to this quote. The more the ego, the lesser the knowledge. So that's Mr. Freeman and Mr. Albert Einstein with your Friday words of wisdom. Have a great weekend, everyone. I'll see you bright and shiny on early Monday morning, hopefully in the hallways, because now we're back 4 days in person. I'm really excited. I hope to see you there and have a wonderful weekend. And remember, be careful out there, but not too careful. See you, everybody.